Go.
Good day. Hello, everybody. How is everybody today? Oh, what a week. What a week last week it has been. Before we go any further, I'm a bit wonky on my monitor there, so I'm not going to worry too much. I may end up
just lean.
I'll lean this way to make me a bit more upright. So can everyone hear me? Hope you all can. And
can everyone hear me?
See, I can't put up with that, Louise.
Okay.
I can't put up with us being wonky. I can't put up with that.
You speak to yourself.
Thank you. There we
wonky.
go. Honky tonky wonky donkey. There we go. All right. Can everyone hear?
Oh dear.
Can that's better? Can everyone hear? Everyone. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Here you both fine, excellent, super duper. Do you know what? I'm a stickler for.
Will you stop fussing?
I'm a stickler for horizontalness. There we go. Everyone, how's everybody been? Hope you all enjoyed the Durston reveal last week. We had great fun, didn't we, Louise?
We did. I'm just wondering why I've got no...
We had great fun. We had this...
Has everyone got a picture?
Everyone's got a picture. Everyone should have a picture, yeah. You seem to be live on YouTube. Yeah, don't you have a picture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You do now. There we go. You're on there, yeah. Oh, technical problems all the time. You loved it. It was cool. Excellent. It was, yeah, I do like things quite level. Okay, Louise.
Great. I'm going to have to read the questions on this machine. I know that you don't like that, but that's just tough. I think I've lost some questions on here. That was on the wrong week. Okay.
Well, yeah, we had a great time. We came up with this idea. Louise and I went out for a walk, and Matthieu approached us. Well, we knew about the roller mill a long time ago. I think it was back in a whole year back, January. So we've known about this roller mill for about 18-20 months, and Matthieu then approached us about a month ago and said when he was going to reveal it, and he said, what can you do for us? So Louise and I were out for a walk one evening, and we were walking along thinking, what can we do? We got to do something each day leading up to the grand reveal. And we just came up with this silly idea, didn't we? We thought, yeah, we're going to have like a robber going in trying to rob it, and we thought, ooh, let's have a think on this. So we got Jason in on the act. He's maybe being nominated for his Oscar part. Do you think?
May not. I didn't want to be the robber. I wanted to be the security guard, the incompetent security guard.
I think you look good at the robber. Do you want to put your mask on?
No, I don't. No.
Go on, put your mask on. Go on, put your mask on. Put your mask on. Go on. Oh, what a gorgeous robber you look.
The robber. Anyway, I really like the Olivia. I think it's going to make life a lot easier for a lot of people. Yeah. We
weren't sure how it was going to be sort of accepted and how everybody would think about what the addition to the mill would be like. But we were really surprised by the lovely comments that were being made on the reveal on the Friday that we had. Oh, hang on a second. We've got flashing lights. We've got, a light. My little light back here. Martin, thank you very much indeed. Thanks for being you. Thank you. We're back to that again. Thank you very much. Really do.
It look suits you, Louise. Just need a little sparkle. Yeah, that would have made the difference, wouldn't it? Yeah, thank you, Martin. That's really kind.
Thank you. Yeah, really good. What was I saying? Yeah, so it's really good, and lots of people have approached us since, haven't they? And they're saying we have limited mobility, we have fibromyalgia, can't stand up for long, which I think the mill is going to, because we saw it and I thought, not too sure, how's it going to be? Is that going to be such a pardon the revolution and everything? But, well, Matthieu said that, the new revolution, but the response we've had has been good, isn't it?
It's been amazing, and I think as well, it's opened so many doors for so many people.
Yes.
Where the traditional mills were too difficult to use, they were too hefty.
The motion, too
the
big.
reach. There were so many limitations with the traditional mill for so many people.
Yes.
And of course, the motorised mills
Just too expensive.
Yeah, they're just out of the price range, aren't they, a lot of the time. But also, I'm really excited about it because I think what's going to come next now that Durston's innovated this and it's helped so many people, and also life doesn't have to be so bloody hard all of the time, does it?
No.
That's what I've learned over the last 18 months. It's just if you can do something easier, why
I'm all for that.
not? Yeah.
I'm all for that.
So I'm just excited now with what's going to come on the market next.
To see, what's going to happen. You could think about other things that the manufacturers make, like drawer benches. You've got the big crank handle on the drawer bench. Perhaps they could put a little bit of a gearbox on the drawer bench, and all you got to do is just do this, and it'll draw the wire down. So I think the aspect of this gearbox could be applied then to lots of other different types of manual machines.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Also, Claire's saying that they're so pricey. Having disabilities is very expensive. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, Tom, you could get a cordless drill to spin the wheel. It does take a little bit of effort. It's not all plain sailing. There's a little bit of resistance there, so I think it may burn a drill out.
I think with mills though, because a couple of people have said about the cost, but then it's still more cost effective than buying a motorised mill. But the thing with the rolling mill is if you pick the right mill, then you only buy it once, don't you? It's an investment that could potentially be a once in a lifetime purchase if you buy the right one for you.
Yeah, buy the right mill right at the beginning, save up your pennies, and you can get a mill that will last you, as you say, a lifetime, an absolute lifetime. So later on in the question and answer, we have got the announcement of 2 lucky winners. The first lucky winner will be the winner from our YouTube Durston Ultrasonic. I think we had 500-600 entries to that, so thank you all if you've entered for that. And we've also got the competition for the Matthieu Cheminee's book, which I didn't really want to give away, but Louise persuaded me to give away. So we got the winner from that, and then we got another competition to start in this week as well. What do you want to say, Louise?
I was just going to say there's a bit on the chat about selling mills to buy a new one. There is a section on the forum, isn't there? There's a classified section. So if you do have mills or anything to sell, anything jewellery making related, you can pop onto the forum and and sell it there, or even do a bit of shopping.
Yes, put it on there. If you put it on eBay, put a link on the forum. It's towards the bottom, classified sales or adverts, and you can post your pieces on there. Obviously, there is no charge for that at all, and it's just good to see. And perhaps if you're saying you're selling something, I may know somebody who wants something, and vice versa. So so please do put that in the forum. It'd be lovely to see what everyone's selling.
The book. Cedar Tree saying the book.
The book. What's the book?
The book.
The book. The book.
The book.
Which book?
Oh, it was here. Where's the book?
Where's the book?
Andrew, I'm raffling the book.
All right.
In fact, I've already raffled the book. It's a done deal. Get the book, please. Thank you. Should we do the book now?
Go on then, before we start.
Okay. So.
This is for the book, Matthieu Cheminee's The Art of Stamping book. That copy's mine. Oh. That one, but we do.
Oh yeah, we've got a
sealed
copy.
We have a sealed copy.
Untouched by human hands.
Well, we don't know. Human hands.
By hands.
By hands. So do you want to read out the winner, Louise?
Yes.
So we had a lot of interest in the book, and so we've run a random generator on the spreadsheet that we've got, and the winner is
Gabriella Nistor.
Gabriella.
Congratulations.
So, congratulations, Gabriella. Have we notified Gabriella?
I have.
You have already? So Gabriella, she is the winner of the Art of Stamping book. Congratulations to her.
Excellent.
Do you want to do the other one now?
Might as well.
We might as well do the rolling mill now. Get it all over and done with whilst you do it in one go. Yes, Louise.
Penny's asking about the monthly draw.
Monthly
draw. Have you done the monthly draw yet? The members draw.
We have downloaded the spreadsheet. We got to look at that tonight.
Okay.
It's been a bit hectic today. Sharon's been off today, so we've been short-staffed. We got the draw to do. That'll be later on this evening, and we shall announce that in the morning. So apologies for the couple of extra days that we've had on that, but it's been.
It's on the way.
It's on the way, and it's been the weekend. and we like to have a day or so off, don't we? So congratulations. Louise, do we have a winner for the Durston Pro Ultrasonic?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Oh, should we have another drum roll as well?
Please, yes, if you don't mind.
It's a big one, this. It's a biggie. It's a biggie. And the winner is...
Richard Whittington.
Richard Whittington, congratulations to you, Richard. You are the winner of Durston's new Pro Ultrasonic. Congratulations to you. We'll be contacting Durston and getting them to send an ultrasonic directly to you wherever you are. We have emailed you already, so if you're watching or if you're not watching, if you're not watching, it doesn't make a difference. But yes, please get in contact with us with your address and we will get Durston to send that out to you. Likewise with Gabriella. If you're watching, please do contact us and we will send you to your book.
And if you're a prize winner, please tell the world. Take to social and and
please do.
Tell everybody what brilliant competitions we run. And how generous I am with Andrew's books. Because he didn't want to give it away.
Thank you, Louise, for that.
Okay.
And we have one of the competitions that's starting today. It is the world-renowned Sally Spencer's The Jeweller's Jeweller's Reference Guide to Quick Gemstones. No, the Jeweller's Quick Reference Guide to Working with Gems. I was close. Quick Gemstone.
You've only seen it about 1 million times in the workshop.
It's a long title to remember.
Pick it up every 5 minutes.
So we've got a competition to win Sally Spencer's the Jeweller's Quick Reference Guide to Working with Gemstones. There's the link. Click on the link. Again, there's no questions. All you got to do is just give us your name and address. And this time next week, we'll be drawing another competition to win Sally Spencer's book that actually sold out with us. We bought a whole load. We sold them all literally within a weekend and they're now back in stock. Another bit of good news, we have got a brand new At the Bench. Start again. We have got a brand new At the Bench. Break them in for red one. We have got a brand new At the Bench shop being launched towards the end of this week. So we're not going to be making everyone go to andrewberry.co.uk because that's defunct. We'll be bringing everything under the At the Bench brand, so it'll be At the Bench shop, and on there, yes, you'll be able to find Sally Spencer's book. You'll be able to find also books from Bryn Morgan Press as well, which is like Matthieu Cheminee's and Revere's books and Tim McCreath's books, and Cynthia Eads' books and Charles Luton Brain's books. We've got all those in stock. We're also getting a lot of books coming in also from Crowwood Press, which is the polishing books, stone setting book, what is there? Another fold forming. We've got lots of books coming in, and also we're getting in more tools over time as well. So that'll be something that we'll be launching towards the end of this week, which is really, really exciting. It's a brand new looking website, keeping us very busy.
Natalia's asking, hi lovely, when is the next 12-hour live stream? We haven't got anything planned right at the moment. We're finalising the details for the workshops, which are included in in full memberships and available to non-members at a cost, obviously. But if you're a member, then you'll automatically have your ticket.
You'll have a code,
and your code will be sent to get your ticket. So we're kind of finalising that at the moment, aren't we? Which is going to be coming up in the next few weeks.
Couple of weeks.
So once that's up and running and we've got that established as a routine, I expect we'll think about it then, won't we?
Yes, I think the thing is that at the moment, the suppliers are being very generous towards us and towards you guys. We're getting a lot of donations from companies. I know we got giveaways from Fordham, giveaways for GRS and so forth, and obviously Durston, obviously. It's going to be hard to approach these people again and say we want more stuff. So this is the thing, this is what we've got. So I think if we do another 12-hour, we may not be able to give away all these brilliant and amazing prizes. That is the problem, isn't it? Because they are being very generous towards us to what we do. Whether we can go asking for more, I don't know. So it's something that we're going to have to consider, whether we will do another 12-hour or perhaps we can do another 12-hour, perhaps bringing in some special guests.
We'll just do something different, whatever it is, it's going to be good, and it's going to be maybe not exactly the same format.
Yes. Yes, but still for charity, definitely.
Oh gosh, yeah, absolutely.
And we'll see what we can do. As I say, perhaps we can get some special guests coming in to do some demonstrations and have a chat and so forth. So yeah, that's something that we will be working on, not quite yet at the moment, but the workshops that we're doing is the next most important thing. And you're going to be able to buy tickets if you're not an At The Bench member for, I'm not quite sure, 10 or 12 pounds. It's a 2 or 3 hour sort of workshop specifically aimed at a technique and perhaps a project. No chit chat like this, it's straight on projects. We're going to be doing that via Zoom. And you can buy tickets, and if you're an At The Bench member, you will be able to have a coupon code to enter into the checkout that will give you the ticket completely free of charge. So this is what we've been working on as well, to add amazing value to our membership, which I think is amazing value already.
But we're always looking for ways to improve and add value.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so that's next in the pipeline.
Yep, and everything that you've all been talked about regarding the survey that we sent out, we still are taking it all on board. It's all working on it in the background, and so that's all something that we are going to be working on as well. Still, we're going to be trying getting projects released within 1 week. So once a month, you will have a complete project going live in one go. And then the week 2, 3, and 4 will be little snippets, little product reviews, little techniques, little hints and tips and so forth throughout the rest of the month. So that again is something that we are banking up to release all in one go. It's just all go, isn't it? It's really all is.
Go. And there's saying it was the idea of a burst special. Yep, that's still in the pipeline. I've been in touch with, I can't remember if it was Comet or Bush. But she's leaving now. The lady who she's leaving. Oh, we need to speak to her before she leaves then, don't we?
I had an email saying she's leaving.
Okay.
And she's going back home.
Well, that's, So
we need to re-establish connections with that, yes. Vernon Edwards, Newport, Wales. Hey, you're a local guy.
Down the road.
Hello, Vernon. Good to see you. Thank you very much for coming on today. Do appreciate it. Have you noticed something different on the shelf? The dove from above, didn't you remember? So over the weekend, I think on Friday, this little guy arrived. Camera number 2. Yes, this little guy arrived, which we were really, really proud of. This is our YouTube Silver Creators Award, which is fantastic. Presented to At The Bench for passing 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. So that's absolutely brilliant. So thank you everybody if you are subscribed on YouTube. Really do appreciate it. That was really nice. And we did an unboxing earlier on today, so we just got to edit that and put that onto YouTube as well. But thank you very much everybody who is a subscriber on YouTube, and if you're not, please do subscribe. We'd absolutely love you to. Is that it?
Yeah, would you like a question?
Question.
Let's have a question.
Have a question. Louise, it is, I can't remember the date today.
It's the 4th of October.
It is Monday, the 4th of October, 4 p.m. Time for question and answer. Louise, may we have our first question, please?
Okay, my questions have gone haywire. Because you started with your... Well, I might have lost some questions here. Because Kenneth, I know there was a question from...
How to dispose of pickle? Someone's asked about pickle. I remember that one.
Okay.
Let me just quickly answer that one. I can't remember who that was, but someone said, how do you dispose of pickle? They ran Cooks and Gold and they said pour it down the drain because the metal deposits are negligible. Personally, I wouldn't do that. If you've got some old newspaper, old sheets of newspaper, or if you've got some cat litter, something like that, get your safety pickle, pour it into the newspaper, let the water evaporate, put it into cat litter, and then wrap that up in a bag, take it up to your local tip, your local refuse centre, whatever you want to call it. Tell them what you've got. It's a safety pickle, there could be metal deposits in it, and give it to them, and they will dispose of it in the correct manner. Don't put it in the bin, don't pour it down the drains, it's not good for the environment. So do that. Old sheets of newspaper, pour it in, perhaps you've got like a Tupperware dish, pour it in, water evaporates, put it in the sun. You must be joking. It's pouring down with rain. And that'll be the best way to do it. Yeah. The other question, I read it out, but I can't remember what it was. I do apologise for that. If you are on and you put a question in right at the very, very beginning, please can you post it again? I can't remember what that was.
Yeah, some of the questions here have vanished.
Have gone, vanished, removed.
I don't know how that's happened. That's a bit upsetting. Penny. Just try and open another.
Yes, Penny, I saw it about blue topaz with the pineapple. I will get back to you on that, certainly. I've had a quick look at that this afternoon. This afternoon, I'll get back to you on that one. Louise, maybe have another question.
Yeah, let me just... see, that's just saying congratulations there. I've lost... I don't know. I've lost some questions. I do apologise. Well, I haven't lost them. They've just vanished. And I don't know how to get them back. I'm not sure if you can, actually. Yeah, please put your questions in the bottom if you put a question in that I've missed. Because all I've got you is congratulations.
It's strange why we've lost it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I lost it. They've just gone. I didn't do anything to lose them.
Because it was on there.
I know. Well, that's the Topsy.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'm so sorry. So the questions are going to be a bit more randomised today. I'm so sorry. Okay, Claire. Claire is saying, I was going to try Duff Clay casting. I tried to prime my crucible with flux from my cone, but it's turned black. That's not right, is it?
Yes. It is. It does go black. It literally goes black. 1 second. Let me just go and grab a crucible from the front studio and I will show you. In the meantime, I'll put you on Louise's lovely face there. They're on you, Louise.
Okay, thank you. Just trying to retrieve these questions, but I'm not sure that I can.
Okie dokies, here we go. I've got 2 crucibles here. Let's zoom on camera number 2. If you want to zoom in, come on, zoom. So, in response to your question, Claire, yes, this is quite a newish one. Not an awful lot of flux on that, but it has been coated. But as you can see, you've got this black around the outside. This one's been used a few times, and as you can see, it has turned black. All right, so that is a fairly newish crucible. I think I've used it about 4 or 5 times. It does go black because you know when you've got your borax and you're soldering it, you put the flame on the borax doesn't stay white. It goes like a greyish and then a brownish colour, perfectly normal. So don't worry about that. Okay, this is completely normal. It's usually perhaps some of the impurities that get caught within the flux as it causes the coating, it heats up, but that is completely normal. That's like a very browny with a bit of red in it. So that is what you get when you have the crucibles and you put some borax in them. So don't worry, nothing's gone wrong. It won't contaminate your silver or anything like that. That is exactly how it should be. As you melt down the silver, get some more, perhaps you can just get your coating, you can go like that on top of your melted silver and it should keep it nice and clean. Yes, Louise?
Sorry, Claire is saying mine does not look like that. There's no mirror finish. I've just pinged a photo through.
Woo! We've got another flashing lights today. No flashing lights, but we do have... These lights should be flashing. Mrs. Lloyd. Mrs. Lloyd, will you please leave my light alone? You just pinged a picture through. Have you? Okay, well, I'll certainly have a look.
But did you send it, Claire? Did you send it to Insta?
We will certainly have a look. You will find that ideally you should use a bit more of a powdered flux so you could coat it all. If you've just simply got the end of your borax cone, you've got to heat up the crucible until it's very, very hot, then put the cone tip in it and pass it all around because it basically has to cover it completely. Then as it gets hotter, the flux will sort of become a slightly liquid and that then should cover the crucible. If it doesn't, add more borax because it has to be covered. That little cup receptacle area has to be nicely covered.
Okay, it looks like it's a generalised problem with the questions. Yeah,
Is it?
A couple of people are saying, gone back through the chat and the questions have vanished. Recently, other YouTubers are losing their comments as well. Even super chats vanished. Michael's saying, "Oh gosh." Okay, I'm just going to freestyle then. I don't mean ask my own question because that would be boring.
Ask the questions that I want to ask Andrew. Like, what are we having for tea tonight?
Okay.
Are you cooking or am I cooking? Sorry, Louise.
Natalia is asking. I saw a pendant of a ghost, like a kind with a bedsheet on their head, and I wondered how they achieved the folded fabric effect. It wasn't cast and I don't think it was clay.
Okay.
I think I can see it in my mind's eye.
I can see it in my mind's eye as well, yes. Don't know, you can move metal. You can, if you have it thin enough, if you get some half round pliers, you should be able to put in sort of folds.
You want it to look flowy and kind of like veil-like.
Yeah, so it's as in a ghost, like that. Yeah.
That's like a Pac-Man ghost.
Yeah.
Was it like a bit more of a scary, like, I don't know.
I'm just trying.
I was thinking more of like a spirit, sort of, I don't know, fluid.
You're testing my artistic bent. Right, so these would be like the creases, wouldn't it? Like that. Yeah. Something like that, like these sort of creases. You could bend them quite nicely. There are several things that you can do. You can have. What are you doing?
I'm drawing what I think. No. That's why.
Hang on. Let's have a look like that.
Exactly like I don't know if you can see mine. No. Mine's probably a bit fake. Should I come draw it on the board? No, I'm wasting time. Now go on.
So Natalia said exactly like that. Perhaps it hasn't got that.
Yeah, and then she laughed.
Yeah. So to get these sort of creases like this, you could get a nice thin piece of metal, 0.2, 0.3, cut it into this sort of funny shape like that, and then and then you just have to get some half round pliers and literally just bend the metal, and you should be able to move it basically with your fingers. Perhaps 0.3 is a bit too thick, perhaps 0.2, which should be fine, and you should be able to conform it and bend it slightly. Round nose pliers are pretty good. You're going to be a bit stuck if you have something like this with these pliers because the jaws are just that little bit too big, but if you've got round nose, you should be able to bend it into that sort of idea. You'd have to start off with obviously a piece that is like that sort of shape, and then you just bend it. Yeah, and that crease would go up like that. Yeah, and you should be able to bend it in that particular way, definitely. But it's got to be thin. You've got to be able to perhaps try and move it with your hands and push it and crimp it, but you should be able to pinch it and get the metal going. So perhaps, yeah, 0.2 should be fine for that. But I think you should be able to do that. But yeah, you could use conforming pliers, which are pliers that have a very, very wide end to them, that would be looking something like that. That's how big the jaws would be, and they're called conforming pliers. Like that, and they're on like normal pliers, and they're called like conforming pliers or crimping pliers. You use them if you do some work with the microfold brake, the corrugator, to crimp and to move the metal. Those would be ideal for you. Louise, do we have another question?
Yes, we do. Casper is asking about gypsy setting. Should you cut the seat, set the stone, and then polish so you can remove any scratches from your setting tool? I've been told you should polish before setting.
Yeah, so I would do pre-polish. So don't do anything with a rouge. I would perhaps get a nice pre-polish, use some Tripoli or some Menzerner pre-finish, and clean the piece. From then, if you need to lay out a design, you can do with the scribe. You should be able to see lines a lot easier. Just got to make sure that you don't slip or anything like that. Then once you've burnished around or hammered over. Then you can go over it with perhaps a pumice wheel to get the surface nice and level. Then you're going to have then to repolish. But the problem is, if you do a proper gypsy setting where the metal is coming over the stone, you're going to have to polish it afterwards. If you're doing simple flush setting, you should be able to pre-polish it and then flush set, and then simply put a rouge over the top of the surface, and then that should be fine. But true gypsy, you hammer, so perhaps may not even need a pre-polish, just to emery it, then do it, and then push the metal over the stone, and then you'd have to polish it afterwards. So it depends on what you mean by a gypsy setting and the style that I'm thinking about, but yes, do it that way. How are things? People, I asked about subscription renewal. Mary Ross, check out the... You should have an email 7 days before your membership expires telling you if you want to renew, you can do. If you are on a yearly, thank you for all your automatic renewal. The coupon code, if you are a 1 year, should be in there. That will then give you a discount for the next year. So all the information should be contained in the email that you receive.
Or any difficulties, open a ticket or email me, louise@andrewberry.co.uk.
Yes.
I can help you out with that.
Yep. Open a ticket, mark it to the accounts, and they will have a look at it for you and certainly come back to you to let you know exactly what you'll be paying. If you're a member before the price went up to 180, the renewal price is about £69. But now when it went up to £180, the renewal price is £99. And you should have a coupon code to put into the checkout to give you that particular discount. Louise, another message. Please.
Sandra had a question about the Fordham Hammer handpiece. I think that one's, I'm sorry, I think we've lost that one. So if you could please, Sandra, just repeat your question. I do apologise. Okay. Eric is saying there is a guy on YouTube that made a 30-ounce silver button. Wow.
Wow. Was that a silver as in a play button? Was it as in this play button, or was it just like a button? Let us know.
Tanya is saying, what's the best drill to get, please?
Oh, that was it.
Still new to silver. Yes, I remember now.
That was it. Okay, so this is the thing. If you're new to silversmithing and jewellery making, you may not want to spend a whole load of money. So something like this would be fine for starters. This is a Dremel 3000. I've adapted the chuck here to have like a Jacob's chuck. You push the button here, it locks the shaft, and this will open up, and this will take in a variety of sizes. I think if you buy directly a Dremel, the chuck on it only accepts, I think it's 3.5mm, was it 3mm chucks, which is no good if you're buying the jewellery tools and jewellery accessories that we got. So I would buy a separate little chuck like this one, and it has the 3 little jaws inside, and they will adjust to whatever size you want. You can buy these quite inexpensively off somewhere like eBay or Amazon, and you can simply unscrew it just like he says, just like that. This comes separately. You can unscrew the one that comes with the Dremel, and you can put that on, and that will certainly go on. And then you can use all the accessories that come then with the Fordham, or any drills, burrs and so forth with that. This is very good. It is limited in the sense that it's got only set speeds. So if you're going to be drilling, I'd have it on a very low speed. If you're going to be polishing, you can increase it. And this has got a variable speed built into the handpiece here. Also has the ability to have this little, he says he can get it off, there we go, little hanging bracket as well, so you can hang it by the side of your bench, which is absolutely brilliant. You can also buy a little, so like a flex shaft attachment on these as well, so you could pretend this is like a flex shaft pendant motor, and you can have that chuck coming down, and you can be using it in that way. These are only roughly around about £60, £70, £80 perhaps, so they are a good starter kit. If you don't want to spend a lot and you want to spend about £7 or £8, get one of these. This is called an Archimedes spiral, and it is literally a very, very slow way of drilling, but it'll drill like a 1mm hole with the chuck through your metal. So if all you want to do is just drill one little hole and nothing bigger than that. And these little Archimedes drills is really, really good. So I'm surprised how well they actually drill through.
I see how quickly, because
you had a go, didn't you?
I put a little hole in your bench.
You started to go
I didn't
through.
realise it was that fast. Yeah.
So they are very good, but for versatility, you can't go wrong with something like a Dremel or a Protox. I think Protox, something like that. But if you really want to sort of step up your game, you basically go with, you can't quite see it on this camera here at the moment. Let's just try and widen that a bit, like that there. A Fordham SR, but that's about £280 roughly, which is a little bit on the expensive side if you're only just starting out. But with this, you can do so much more.
And if you remember, you get a chance to win one.
And if you remember, I think next month we are organising a chance to win a Fordham flex shaft. I say flex shaft now because that's the Americans call it flex shafts.
You're not American.
I'm not, but we got members in America. The majority of people watching from America. Anyway, Louise, let's have another question.
Okay. Cedartree is saying the YouTube comments feature is turned off. I don't think anything's changed, is it?
Nope.
We're getting comments through and then they vanish. But yeah, it looks to be stable at the minute. Nathan is saying, what are some cheap gemstone alternatives to practice stone setting?
What do you think?
Oh.
CZs?
Yeah, I think if you can get your hands on some scrap stones, or sorry, recycled stones, not seeing scrap anymore. Yeah, we buy second-hand jewellery, don't we?
Yes.
So we get a lot of practice stones that way, and some nice stones that way as well.
Yes.
Cheap gemstone alternatives, because I suppose you could go to eBay or somewhere like that, but then they're not going to behave in quite the same way, are they? No. I think it depends whether you want to practice general setting,
yeah,
or whether you want to, because obviously setting like an opal or an emerald is going to be different to setting a diamond or a corundum, isn't it? So,
absolutely. Yes.
Oop. Yeah. Throw them on the floor. I think that's not a good idea. But yeah.
I think because we buy in a lot of cubic zirconias, CZs, and you can get plain white ones. You can get all the different colours as well, which is also quite nice. So you could do with that. The problem is go on.
Yeah, sorry, Stacey is saying I pick up old jewellery at thrift stores and take the stones out to practice with. Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, because again they're going to be glass and they are good.
Saying CZ is cheap. Yeah,
CZs are ideal. As I said, you can buy them in all different colours. If you want somewhere and you buy them really, really cheap, you can go to someone like AliExpress. If they're only cheap ones you want to buy, AliExpress, you can buy hundreds for literally £1 or so, a couple of pound. So, and they'll also do all the colours, all the sizes, all the shapes as well, and that's really good if you just want to practice with.
It's important to remember though that then when you come to set something else, it's not necessarily going to behave in the same way.
No, exactly.
Some are more brittle than others, and
you just got to take good care with how you set them and understand the properties. And this is why Sally Spencer's book is absolutely indispensable for things like this.
Yeah.
I'll pop the link up again, Louise.
Yeah,
the competition.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yeah, we're raffling one of Sally's excellent books, and it's signed.
It is signed.
It is signed.
It is a signed book from Sally Spencer. Should we have another question then, please, Louise?
Okay. Len is asking, what is the fireproof box you use to melt silver cord?
I made it myself. I just call it like a soldering station. I think we put it on YouTube to show how it was made. You can easily make it if you've got some solder boards, solderite boards. Mine were foot square, 300 mils. You need 4 of them. You need one and cut it at an angle like that. So then you have one on the back. You have one then on the side that comes down that does that. And then you have one on the base. I'm just trying to draw this now like that. There we go. So that's what I do. So we got one there, 2 there. That's the 3rd one. And I usually put another one underneath as well, just to give me that little bit more protection. And that's all I use. They're solderite boards. They're about 9mm thick. You can need them. And then you just need another squares as well. So that's ×1, that's ×3. That's all you need. You can screw them together. You can put screws in through the end. If you're not too sure, you can perhaps get some little brackets that go around just to hold them in place. And you can put a little nut and bolt through, likewise on the bottom, or you can just get some long panel pins and just push the panel pins through. We've got several of these and we can move them around. We've got them in the front studio, we can bring them here, put them on this bench when we're filming. And because it's got a double thickness on the bottom, no heat comes through and it's all nicely contained. So we call them solder stations. Durston do sell a version as well. Theirs is about £150, but if you buy the Solderite boards, you can make your own very, very simply. A simple woodworking saw, tenon saw, jack saw, anything like that will cut the boards nice and easy. Don't forget, use protection over your mouth, a mask. Even though it's not asbestos, it still kicks up some fine dust, and you can make your own. Check out some of the YouTube films about year and a half ago where we compared some soldering stations, and one of those was a Durston as well. Please, another question?
Yeah, Jake, I'm sorry if I've missed your question. We've had some problems here with the chats. It's we've actually lost some earlier questions, haven't we? So I'm not deliberately missing anything out, I promise. And anybody who watches regularly knows that I read them through in order.
Yeah.
But I think your question was, hooking up with 3 different types of metal, copper, silver problems with metal melting on me. Was that your question?
Don't know.
3 different types of metal, copper, silver problems with metal melting.
Don't understand the question. Can you explain more so on there, please? Just explain a little bit more detail exactly what you want to help with, and certainly, by all means, definitely give you a hand with that.
Cedar Tree said, when your metal melts due to too much heat, if you only have one torch, back the flame away and the metal slightly. Sometimes you need to experiment with pushing and pulling of the flame. Oh, is this where you're melting?
There's
You've got one torch. Okay.
Not too sure, but yeah, if you can give us a bit more information on that, certainly please give us a bit more information. We'll certainly have a look for you. Should we go on to Kenneth? I can just see Kenneth on there as well. Yeah, Kenneth says, I've been having a problem twisting wire. It seems to twist fine up to a point and then the twists become uneven. I know Sonny had this problem but did not show how he overcame it. This sometimes happens if the wire is not evenly annealed. You may have some soft annealed sections and other sections that aren't annealed enough, and what's going to happen is it's going to twist fairly evenly to start off with, and then as the metal then starts to work harden, the part that is half annealed gets really, really hard and won't twist, but yet the bit that has been totally annealed is still twisting. So as soon as you notice that the metal is not twisting evenly, don't let go, keep hold of the end. So pretend the wire's in here, yep. Keep twisting. Oh, it's not quite right. Grab your torch, okay? Light your torch, and whilst you're still holding on to the end, warm up the wire, okay? And if you warm up the wire, the area where it's not twisting as much, you just gently warm that up, that'll become annealed and that will then carry on twisting. Even though you're not twisting here, the tension in the wire will actually start that to twist. And if you can judge it so you get a nice even twist all the way along, once you've done that, then you can stop with the torch, take it off your mole grips or pliers, take it out of the vise, wrap it around perhaps a mandrel or something like that, put it on your block and get that nicely annealed all over again, then put it back in your vise and then you can start to twist again. The problem is if you see one area that is not twisting as much as the other and then you let go of the twist, you release the tension. If you try and anneal it, you're basically annealing a piece of wire with uneven twists. So when you start to twist, the uneven twists are still going to twist as much as the not uneven twists. Does that make sense? So you must make sure that you keep it under tension, keep it held, warm it up so it all gets nicely twisted evenly. Then you can let go and then anneal it properly. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I think I was going a bit mad then. Louise, maybe have another question, please, my darling.
Yeah. Cedar Tree is asking, which solder do you recommend, copper or silver, when soldering copper to silver?
Yeah, I would definitely go with silver solder. You've got to have the most minimal amount of silver solder because obviously if it flows onto the copper, you've got a lot of cleaning up to do. So make sure that your joints are nice and tight. If you can sweat solder, Even better still, if you're soldering one piece to another, try and sweat solder. The problem is if you've got a sheet of metal, okay, like this, and you're trying to solder on, say, what can we solder on? A disc. And you'll want to solder on a disc on a sheet, okay, like that. What you don't want to do in any circumstance, no matter what metal it is, what you don't want to do is put your little pallion of solder by here, okay, or even a little ball by here, because as soon as you heat up the area, that solder is going to melt and then it's going to flow underneath, and what you're going to be left with is like a little bit of a slight shadow of where that silver melted. Likewise, if it's a ball as well, as soon as that solder melts, it'll melt on the surface and then flow underneath. So you're going to get a little bit of a shadow. This is what annoys me with a lot of books on soldering. They show this technique and I think it's totally wrong, because you've got a lot of cleaning up to do, and you'll hardly ever get rid of this little shadow area where the solder has melted. So what you need to do is get your disc. Okay, so here's your disc now. Okay, you want to get and flux your disc and put some little pallions of solder on your disc. Okay, heat it up with your torch, so then all this solder melts over the face of your disc in this instance. Get your disc, turn it upside down and put it down onto the metal here. This metal is being fluxed, then you heat it with your flame here. And then as this whole area starts to heat up, the solder that is on the underside of this disc will melt, and you will just see a little seam of solder showing through, and that solder will not flow onto the metal because the solder likes to stay between two surfaces. It won't go any further than that, and that would be the best way then to solder. A silver solder. I wouldn't have copper, far more pinicky, but a silver solder like that, no problems at all with it. Louise, another question?
Yes, Kenneth has been having a problem with twisting wire.
I just read that one out, darling.
Oh, sorry, okay, yeah.
No,
I'm
I'm sorry.
I'm getting upset now because the questions have all gone out of
don't
order.
get upset. You're doing
I know, and I
brilliant
don't
job.
like this. I feel sad now because the questions have gone wrong. Yeah, we've done that one. Which solders do you recommend? Michael's saying cubic zirconia are pretty cheap and also used in final jewellery. Yeah. Janet is saying pear drop stones in pendant or earrings, point up or down, which is the correct way.
Oh, I'd say point up.
We had this discussion, didn't we? Because you made a pear-shaped diamond ring, didn't you? Diamond solitaire.
Yes.
And I said I'd wear it up.
Yes.
For me to see it the right way, and everybody else was saying no, you'd wear it the other way so that you.
Yeah.
But I wear it for myself, so I'd like to do that.
So, I think it depends upon the style. If it's a single one, I think that way. Personally speaking, like that. If you've got a design and you've got perhaps two of them, you could have. It depends really. Depends what you want.
Because where did I see?
So something like that, if you have three, then that would be quite nice, three that way, but that would look silly that way up. Because it wouldn't...
Doesn't look natural,
it wouldn't really work very well.
Oh, that looks quite nice, actually.
Okay. I just think it's the design and the aesthetics on how you want. You always see them this way up. I don't think there is a right or there is a wrong way. I just think
with the flow.
It's how you feel. And if you're making it for a customer, for a client, ask them which way around they want it, but definitely ask them. There is a right way. But for me, I'd have the point sticking up. That's just me, because I'm a boring kind of guy. Next question.
Sandy is asking, where did you get the square crucibles? I can't find them in the USA.
They are 2-inch crucibles. I think they call them scorifiers in the US. I think a lot of places will stock them. They're 2-inch, 50 mil. You can buy them over here in the UK and you can have them shipped over to the US. But I'm sure Rio, Stuller, Guess Wine are going to have them, but they are scorifiers 2-inch and they should be available there. I know you can get round ones, and then you need what's called a whip, which is like a wire handle that will just cradle that. You can get that as well. I seem to like these little 2-inch ones. You can melt down, 70, 80 grams of metal in there without a problem at all. So check them out, have a look. But scorifiers, Scori, S-C-O-R-I-F-I-E-R-S, something like that. They should be available. Guess Wine, Stuller, Rio, Otto Fry as well, don't forget. And if you remember at the bench, go into the member benefits section, you can get your discount codes and you can have discounts at Guess Wine, Otto Fry as well. And if you're in the UK, you can get discounts at Walsh as well. Sorry, Miss Louise.
I think this is going back to this soldering silver to copper. Cedar Tree is saying, I make heavy cuffs, sometimes soldering many pieces to the main silver substrate.
Yeah, so definitely do it that way. Sweat solder, put the solder on the small little piece, then put the little piece with the solder on the big piece, and then sweat solder. The solder won't flow anywhere, it'll only flow between those two surfaces. Don't put the heat on the little piece, put the heat on the big cuff, and the heat will transfer through to your little piece. The solder will melt. If it's nicely fluxed underneath, the solder will just go all right round to the edges, but it won't go any further. It'll stay nice under the surface. Like in bed, it's cold outside, you've got the duvet over you, the bed's nice and warm, you're in the middle, duvet's on top, and you're the solder, yeah? And if you put your head out, I don't want to put my head out, and you stay beneath the duvet in the bed. That's what solder's like, Lou. Okay. I've been in this job far too long.
I love your analogies. Right. Would you like another question?
Yes, please.
Okay. Now, Natalia was cleaning up an old silver bracelet, and after I polished it, all normal, I left it in a tub with warm soapy water, and some bits have gone yellow. Have no idea why and can't get it off. Have
you tried polishing it off? Have you tried polishing an old silver bracelet? It may be perhaps due to perhaps a reaction like a liver sulfur does. Perhaps there may be something in the soapy water that may cause a reaction, so you may need to physically polish it with your flex shaft, with your little mop, something like that perhaps. But that could be the reason why. I can't understand how some pieces would have gone.
Yes, has polished it. Tried to polish the yellow marks off.
Perhaps it's not silver. Perhaps they're not silver. Perhaps those little parts are not silver. Perhaps they're silver plated, perhaps.
Send us a picture, Natalia.
Yeah.
I won't be able to tell you what metal it is, obviously, from the picture.
Yeah, send Louise a picture.
Yeah, I'm interested to see.
And we'll have a look.
Louise at andrewberry.co.uk or send it to me on Facebook.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, we'll certainly have a look for you by all means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Jake has come back with some more info. The question of mine was with tricolored metals.
Right.
Is overly can't seem to get them to solder properly without melting.
Okay, so it depends on the size of these three colours that you're using. I would never try and use something like a hard solder, because then you're getting at a very, very high heat and you don't know then what the other melting point of the other metals is going to be. I would try and use perhaps at least, easy if you could possibly help it. The problem is if you've got, like a thin wire, and then you've got like a thicker sheet, and then even a thicker sheet again. Obviously, this little thin sheet here is going to take less heat. And if you've got your flame by here, pointing downwards towards the whatever you're soldering, even though you may have like an easy solder here, okay, this little guy here is going to melt before that solder melts, because the flame has been directed to it. If you have it this way, put the flame down here, so the flame is on the bigger piece and not on the thinner piece. It's because the thinner pieces of metal are going to heat up a lot quicker than the thick pieces. So you've got to put your torch where it is biggest, it is denser, it is thickest, because that will take more heat than a thin wire. The heat then will be transferred through to the thinner metals, and that would be the correct way of doing it. If you've got three metals all the same size, I would definitely lower the melting point of the solder by using an easy solder on it, because that is going to melt way before all the other metals melt, basically. So that is what I would do, and it is the placement of your torch when it comes to that. And as someone said within the chat here, if you find your metal is starting to melt, pull the flame back a bit. Even though there'll be heat going onto the piece, it'll stop that the high heat, and you can bring that back, and you can then perhaps work the flame around to a heavier, thicker area to try and get the heat, a nice even heat distribution throughout the whole 3 pieces. Louise, may I have another question, please?
Yes. Sandra, hi Sandra. I read that a hammer hand piece requires the LX motor, not the SR motor. Is there a way to just put a wedge in my SR's foot pedal to govern speed rather than buying a new motor?
A lot of people say this. The LX is great because it has a good torque and has a lower speed. But you've got a foot control with the SR, so you don't need to push your foot down hard. You just have to listen to the sound. With a handpiece, a hammer handpiece, you just got to listen to the okay? You mustn't take it more than roughly around about 5,000 revs a minute, which, to be honest, is still fast. I like to be in control. I like to look at the stone when I'm setting it. If you have anything that is going too fast, you're not in control. So what I do is try and get a nice and then if you look through with an optivisor or with a microscope, you can actually see the metal being pushed over. Because if you do it by hand and you hammer it, you're not hammering it like this. You're going with the hammer. So likewise with the hammer handpiece, never run it fast. You're going to ruin it. But don't buy another flex shaft. There is no need. Just limit the speed. You've got a foot control. If you're unsure, you can also get the little desktop variable speed controller for the Fordham. It's something that I think we may be getting for Louise when it comes to the control for the flex shaft. Mm-hmm. And you can set the speed on a rotary dial, so you know then you're not going to take it above the speed that would endanger your handpiece. But literally, when I don't have my flex shaft plugged in at the moment, but when I've got a handpiece, I am looking at the reciprocation of the tip, and it's going and no faster, because I want to see the metal move. And if I'm going too fast, too close, I can see and I can take it back or stop and reduce the speed. So there's no need to go buying another one. You can if you wanted to, but personally, I don't see the point. You might as well just keep on with that and just be careful with the speed.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next question.
Okay.
Something about the ghost being
I wanna see the ghost.
3D. You can do it with. I've made like a silver bell in the past, and you can. And what I've done in the past is get something that is like a. I think Sonny did it on All That Glitters. He made like an acorn shape, and you can do it with a doming set. You can keep on going with the doming set and making it smaller, and then you get a doming set that is like that. Yep, straight sides, Andrew. And then you've got a disc, or if you wanted to, have like a big sheet like that, hammer it in here, so all these sides then will come up like that, and they will crinkle, and then you can carry on moving them around. In the past, I've done something very similar, but done a simple hemispherical, simple half round like that. And then what I've done in the past is made like a bit of a tube and soldered that tube onto the bottom, and then I did that upon the bottom as a bell. You can also flare it out as well if you wanted to cut it out of a sheet that would look like that. So when you turn it around, it's in a bit more of a tube shape. Put the hemispherical dome on top like that. Yep, so there's your join. And then you could try and do that to make your little pleats going up to almost like a Dalek. I don't like that. I was scared of Daleks as a kid. Oof, even the sound of them now, makes my hair stand on end. Next question, please, Louise.
Okay, Natalia's asking about stones. Looking at aquamarine cabochons, they're £3 on Kernocraft and like £80, £100 or more for the same size and curved. Don't understand the price difference. Aquamarines.
Depth of colour. Some maybe
Inclusions,
more included than others.
You can get like rain inclusions, can't you?
Don't forget the prices on A Ward's website are public prices. If you do register with them, you can get trade prices. But if you ask them, they're going to have stones within your price range. Don't accept what they've got on their website, because we've been up there and they have millions of stones, don't they?
I want to go back.
Well,
we need some stones actually. So.
We could maybe want to have a trip up to Wards and do a live from Wards.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. But they have got millions of stones to choose from. So obviously they can't put everything up on the website. But if there's something that you want, so you want an aquamarine, you want it, 5x4 oval, give them a call, speak to them and say, look, I don't want to spend more than £3, £4. What have you got? And I bet you they'll have them there.
Yeah.
So yeah, so do that. Ask them. There's no harm in asking.
Yeah.
So that would be the price difference, I reckon.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe's saying the quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you dip copper into smelted silver to create silver-filled wire? I don't think you can. Anything else? Colour and clarity, yes. Difference between a bezel and a collet. Is it the same thing? It is, because you can buy things like collet punches. A collet, you see, a collet really is, my drawings are atrocious, actually, a collet is, it's a setting. A collet is a claw setting. So a collet plate, a collet punch set is going to be for making tapered tubes that then you file into to make a setting or a collet. Some people call that a collet. Some people will call the piece of metal that goes underneath that a collet. But a collet, bezel, tapered bezel, pretty much all the same things, yes. Sorry, Louise, I just jumped in there.
No, it's fine. Elijah, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Is there any trick to hide the soldering parts? Because after polishing, I could still see those lines where I soldered. I know one way to go is to use electroplating.
You need to use a solder that is a higher melting point solder, because that will have the greatest amount of silver in it that would match the metal that you are using. So if you have a ring in sterling silver and you use easy solder, it melts at a lower temperature because there is less silver in it and more alloy, other metals in it, that lowers the temperature to solder. So if you can help it, try and use a high melting point solder. Your joints then should be a lot better. Make sure that your joints are touching, make sure there's no gaps, and you will have the very most minimal amount of solder line. You can electroplate afterwards. To be honest, I don't see there is a need for it. The other way to do it is that if you've got your ring shank here like this, and your solder seam is by here, when you come to polish it in this direction, okay, back and forth this way. Don't polish it this way. If you do it this way, okay, the polishing motor, the mops is going to draw out the solder, because again, the solder is softer than the rest of the metal. So if you are polishing, polish across the joint, not with the jointer. So that would help you an awful lot. But make sure that you use a nice high finish polish, like a Tripoli or a Menzurna Superfine, and really you won't be able to see your joints if you've managed to get rid of all the solder off the surface. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Sean is saying, could you please give a quick guide on how to set a straight baguette stone into a semi-flush setting?
We did this actually a couple of weeks ago. We did something very similar. So if you've got, I think I know what you mean. So if you've got a plate, okay, and you've got a baguette stone, so you mark out, you turn the stone upside down to start off with, okay, so the side is here, you have the baguette, upside down, okay? If you want to use a bit of super glue to glue it in the place where you want it, you can do. Then what you want to do is mark around, a mark on the metal, Okay, so there's your metal and there's your mark, and that is the exact size of the stone. What you want to do then is get a drill and try and drill a hole, okay, as not as wide as you need to. That's wrong, Andrew. That should come a little bit less than that. So come in and make your holes about 0.5 millimeter less here. Okay, so say you're doing a 4x2, the drill needs to be around about a 1 millimeter. So drill through, drill through. Then what I would do is connect up this with a piercing saw. So then you've got like a rectangle hole, okay, inside here, like that. Then what I would do is perhaps get something like this isn't quick. You want like a 90-degree setting burr like that. Put it on its side so it's going in this direction. Okay, like that. And as that's spinning, you can get it into this area here. So using this edge, you're actually grinding away at that edge. Okay, and likewise over here, you're grinding away at these edges. Okay, and what you're left with is, oh my goodness me, something like that. That is a box. It isn't quite to the width. Then what you want to do is get a setting burr that looks like that. Come down then and cut a little shelf, little shelf on this side, a shelf on that side. Then what you want to do, you're going to have a problem getting into the corners here, so you can get a drill, a twist drill, and drill into the corners or go underneath. Use that so you're cutting away. This is not an easy. Can't I see that one? Yeah, you can just about see. So what you want to do is get the burr and you're burring away underneath these corners. Okay, so this is like inside. And keep getting the stone, putting the stone on top, take the stone out, stone on top, and taking away the metal. And they're very, very quick. I could go into it and spend a lot more detail, but that is how you would do it. Drill holes, line them all up, use that to get into the corners. The corners are nice and sharp. Keep trying the stone, and then use the straight sided setting burr to go down to make the bezel, the bearing. You asked for a quick one? That was a quick one. Yes, Louise. Do we have more, or should we say one more?
Let's do a few more, because I feel bad that the question order went a bit sideways.
Okay, yeah.
Nick is saying, how do you harden silver without work hardening it? Is there a kiln cycle? I want to cast designs and then do little work to them after besides polish. Will they come out soft?
You can put it into a kiln at a certain degree and keep it there for like 10, 15, 20 minutes, and that will actually harden silver. I cannot remember what that temperature is, unfortunately. But if you Google work hardened silver with a kiln, it'll tell you the exact temperature the silver needs to be to work harden it. I've never had any need to work harden a piece of silver, to be honest. Everything that we do, we have silver that is nicely annealed. If you work harden a piece of silver, the problem is then when you start to work it and perhaps start to solder it, you are going to be annealing it, so you wasted a whole stage. So I don't bother work hardening. If it's rings, don't bother work hardening it. If you make them too thin and they go out of shape, but then it's too thin. So you still need to make them the right sort of thickness. But I've never had any need to work harden. But if you Google it, it'll give you the exact temperature you need. And that would only be done as the final stage. But again, you have to be careful that it's not above the melting point of the solder. Otherwise, you'll have a nasty shock when you take it out of the kiln and all your solder joints have all fallen apart. So do take good care. Oh, excuse me. We have another question, please.
Yeah, Sandra saw a nice double pair as in not a pair. I'm sure they were a pair as well. Of earrings online. The top pair was point up with a hinge at the bottom. Ooh, connecting to the bottom pair that was point down. Oh, that's cool.
That as well.
So yeah,
nice,
anything goes. Yeah. Tracy wants to know how to cut stone like shungite. Are there tools to make more exact shapes?
Don't know. We're going to have a look at that.
Okay.
Shungite.
I think we answered Jake's on the tricolored metal. I love tricolored metal. I think white gold, yellow gold and rose gold together. We had a bracelet, didn't we, in the shop?
Yeah.
And it suited everybody, didn't it?
Yes.
It was like, it just It just warms everybody's skin tone regardless, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks fab on everyone.
It does.
Okay.
Hopefully I can get a question. Go back up, sorry, Lou.
No, I answered. That was Jake.
Okay, sorry,
we did that one, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think Andrew is testing the bottle of vino. No. That'd be nice, though, wouldn't it? See, it's jumped to the blooming end again now. This is, how far did we get?
You're more than welcome, Kenneth.
Yep, okay. Tess, I've sawed off the screw backs on some old 925 silver earrings to make them into rings. The design is a delicate flower. How can I solder them to the ring shank without melting the flower?
Like I was talking about the way we solder with Jake's problem, you've got your delicate flower, obviously quite thin, okay? So what I would do is perhaps clean up this little area by here, okay? And then melt a little bit of solder into that area so you know how much heat the little flower can take, okay? So put your bit of solder on there, obviously clean it with the emery paper, a little bit of flux, and then put a little bit of solder on it and melt it. So you get a little area that is now covered. Then what you do is put on your ring shank. I can't even draw this now.
It's like a fried egg.
Oh, that's terrible, Andrew.
Fried egg ring.
All right. I got to draw the shank first, otherwise I don't have at it. That's better. I got to draw the shank first. So here's your ring shank, and then here's your flower around there, like that. So this then will go like that. It's better now, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
So here's the area down here that you've cleaned up. There's a little bit of solder on here, but the shank directly on top of there. The shank has been cleaned underneath here. The shank has been nicely fluxed. Then where do you put your flame? You don't put your flame down here because it is going to melt the flower. You will put your flame up here. Okay, let's use a different colour. Using different colours today, so let's use a bit of red, shall we? So I would start off then with my flame up here. Okay, so heating the back of the shank. The heat now is being transferred down here. I would bring the flame by here. I would bring the flame by here, and you're dancing. Thank you very much. Why aren't we going off?
Nick, thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick Roderick. Thank you very much indeed.
You've talked to me so much already in your videos, the live streams. Are so generous with your time and
I'll set it going for you. You're very kind, Nick. Thank you so much indeed. Good on you.
That's lovely.
Yeah, so bring then dance the flame on either side. The heat will transfer down. If you want to then just gently, briefly bring the flame down, but not too much, and take it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then when the solder is the right temperature, because this will be heating up, the heat will transfer onto here, the heat will get through to the flower, and at the right moment that solder will melt onto the shank, and it is melted onto the flower. What you want to do is have your flower sideways, and here's the shank here, okay? And perhaps have that in a third hand that's holding it that way. This is upon your soldering block down here, and you'll have this on top. You dance the flame around, da 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 da. Bring it down, down on the flower, back up. Make sure the ring's hot, and at the right moment the solder will melt. It'll flow up onto the ring, and you should be able to solder it on, no problem. It's all about the control of the torch, understanding that the shank is going to take more heat than what the flower will, so you have to make sure that this little area here gets to the same temperature, the right temperature, when both of these are the right temperature as well. It's all about moving the torch around, putting it on, pulling it off, putting it on, putting it off, moving it around, dancing around, seeing the colour of the flux as well, knowing when that solder is going to melt. Louise, maybe have another question.
Yeah, Anthony has been making Cuban chains. And a big issue is after twisting the chain, I'm unable to make the chain fall flat when held upright. It seems to spiral and not hang straight.
Yes, it does. A lot of people have this problem, and they do often spiral. What I tend to do is I would twist it as you can, best you can, and then you would twist it so you'd twist it further than what you need to. So when you're twisting it, okay, if you twist it and you stop when all the links then are all level, it's not far enough. You need to go further again Make sure that the chain is perhaps lubricated as well, so all the links are nicely moving over each other. But then what happens is some links then have twisted a little bit more than other links. What I would do then is pass it through a rolling mill to ensure you get all the links the same twistiness. So some may have twisted more than others, so some may be slightly deeper than others, but by passing it through the mill, you're going to squash them all down. Yes, Lou?
Somebody, I think Susan suggested that, and Anthony said, I've tried rolling and various other things, but nothing seems to quite work. But the key is a slight over twist before passing it through the mill.
Over twist it, because once you over twist it and let go, it'll untwist slightly.
Okay.
So that's what we've done, and I did one, and what I found was the best way to do it was to have it filed. So I would get a piece of wood, put some dopping wax upon it, warm it up, lay the chain on top, then file it flat, then melt it, turn it over, stick it back up on the dopping wax on a piece of wood and file it as well. Yep, so you got them both filed, then put it through the rolling mill, and I found the ones that I've done using that, and perhaps take it down the mill a little bit more to squash them slightly, and I found that really, really does help.
Natalia is suggesting your excellent video on Cuban chains on At the Bench.
Yes, that's exactly what I did, yeah, and they didn't twist. Absolutely, but I think
that helps.
The rolling mill has worked in the past, yes. Thank you.
But with an over twist.
With an over twist,
well,
yes.
Yeah, a controlled over twist.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, Polo is saying there is a copper phosphorus containing solder. There is a copper phosphorus containing solder for copper, and supposedly it keeps the joint a copper colour. Have you heard of it? I have heard of copper solder, yes. I've never tried it. We don't usually use copper here, but yes, I have heard about it, and a lot of the suppliers in America do sell it, but I don't. I've never used it, so I couldn't really comment, I'm afraid. But yeah, it is out there, yes. Yes, Lou. Yep. Stacey is saying, could I use a pitch bowl for chasing?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yes, I have a pitch bowl. You can use, if it's obviously a cast iron bowl, you can buy one of those little donuts, the rubber donuts that it actually sits on, so you can move the bowl around, or you can use a sandbag, a leather sandbag, to put the bowl on as well, and you can move that around as well. Sandbag's better because it deadens the sound. How are you doing then?
Yeah, Mr. B is saying, does lost wax casting work as well, and hand cutting name pendants? As well as hand cutting name pendants.
There's lots of kind of work as well on hand. So are you hand cutting name pendants and then making molds and injecting the molds with wax and then lost wax casting them? It would work. I don't personally would do it that way. I find that I can cut a name out far quicker and easier than taking the time to actually cast it. You can get the brush font on Photoshop or Word or Pages, whatever you're using. You can put that together on there. You can print it out onto a piece of paper. You can glue it onto your sheet. You can cut it out, and I could do that literally within about half an hour, which is far quicker than messing around with lost wax casting. But yes, you could do it if you wanted to do the same name over and over and over and over again. Absolutely.
Okay, Janet's saying bells is an excellent idea for Christmas. What about a silver Christmas decoration competition?
Yeah, you could do, couldn't
That
we?
sounds like fun.
Who's saying exterminate? Oh, thanks, Mike.
Exterminate adjustable saw frames.
Oh, exterminate adjustable saw.
Oh, that's all right then. You'd be happy with the Daleks then, wouldn't you?
Totally, yes.
Okay, maybe persuade Andrew to give away a rolling mill to the winner. Yeah.
Winner of the Christmas competition.
Christmas, yeah. We could, get everybody to make us a decoration, and then we can just put them all on our tree.
You could, wouldn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
What is the best ratio of metals to make gold solder?
I really don't know.
Okay.
I've never had the need to make gold solder myself. I find that if you buy a solder from a company, personally, I think that's going to be, for me, far better, because I know when it's going to melt. I've never tried to make solder before by putting things like copper or nickel and gold with it, so I wouldn't know the properties or the percentages. I've never tried, unfortunately.
a lot of people are liking the idea of a gemstone shopping road trip live.
It would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I'm not quite sure how we would do it, but we could be up there and ask if we can get one of the staff to one side, perhaps.
Yeah, we could get somebody to show us around, and we can perhaps, we'd have to obviously pre-arrange it and make sure that.
Be good, wouldn't it? Yeah, perhaps we'll try and do that one day.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, before Christmas. Have a bit of a trip to London. Nice.
Yay. Richard, yay, Richard. Richard, you've won, as you know, the Durston Ultrasonic bar, so congratulations. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so Richard, let us know.
Richard's on,
Let us know your address, please, with a mobile number as well. So get in contact with us. Reply to Louise's email
with your did get an email
with your address, with a mobile phone number as well, please. We have to give that to the courier company, and we will arrange that with Durston to have that delivered.
Yay!
Nice one, well done, Richard.
Excellent. Nemo, Andrew, you are a masterful teacher.
Thank you.
I absolutely love how you explain these processes. You should start a YouTube channel. Oh, Anko is saying, isn't there anyone who wanted to show their work this week? I thought there would be plenty of interest. No, that's, yeah, so if anybody, basically we started doing a viewers little section, didn't we?
Yes.
Where for a few weeks, people sent in their work, whether it was something they're particularly proud of or an issue that they overcome. We had Sarah, didn't we, last week, who
had the problem with
the problem with the casting, and explained how she overcame it. But yeah, it was really great though to share that with everybody. So yeah, if anybody else has got anything they want to show or anything they want to teach
Advice
everybody
on.
else that they've learned from experience, then yeah, send me some pictures and we can post some links up to your social media channels and all that sort of thing. So yeah, thanks for reminding me about that, Amco. That's great.
Yeah, thank you.
Fabulous. See it jump? Did you see it jump?
I saw it jump. I saw it jump.
Did you see it jump?
I saw it jump, Lou. Saw it jump.
Yep. Contractions, Richard. Hopefully not. Sandra is saying, I haven't set any stones yet. I bought some tumbled lapis lazuli chips and want to make some quick prong set studs. What do you think the underside look like? What should the underside look like? Sorry.
The easiest way of doing this, Sandra, is to get 2 jump rings, okay? So you have 1 jump ring. There's your jump ring there. You have another jump ring that is perhaps slightly bigger. So the inside diameter would be the outside diameter of the one on top. So that would be slightly bigger, like that. You've got a piece of your pieces of wire. You make a little cross like that. You solder them together like that. So you have the 1 ring underneath. You have the metal, the cross section like that on top. Okay, simple like that. Then you get the other ring, and you put the other ring then on top that as well. Does that make sense? Yep. So you've got a sandwich. You've got, looking on the side, you've got that, okay? So then you solder all these connecting points. So this wire you'd solder there, there. You have the wire coming out here, yep. The wire coming out here, you solder there, 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 there. So you've got this cross section. You've got the wire coming out here, wire coming out there, yep. Then you bend these wires up, like that, yep. You cut out this cross section from underneath, and you've just made yourself the most easiest, simplest of round settings, if you wanted it round. And then you put the stone in here, the stone sits nicely inside. If your stone is sort of this sort of shape, well then you'd have to, perhaps, if you wanted to keep it circular, you can do, or you could make perhaps a little bit of a square setting that looks like that, and then a bigger one underneath, like that. And you can do it that, but that is the easiest way. Cross section, jumping underneath, jumping on the top. The one on the top is slightly bigger, then you can cut that out from inside, and you've made yourself the most simplest, easiest claw set. And you can do that literally within about 10 minutes. Nice and simple. Thickness wire, 1 mil, 1.2 millimeter. Make the rings out of 1.2. Get your round nose pliers. Make a jump ring. Yep, snip it. Put it to one side. Slightly bigger, put it to one side. You wouldn't necessarily even have to solder those jump rings, providing you put the joins where those cross wires are, powering the solder in the little places, warm it all up, cut out the center, bend the claws up, job's a good one. Nice, easy, cheap as chips, fast and furious, easy setting. And if I had another 10 minutes, I would make one for you, but I don't. I do apologise. But if you want me to quickly show you, ideal sort of thing for actually at the bench. These sort of quick little questions like this, we can make up very, very quickly in between the big projects that we're going to be doing on at the bench. So, Louise, can you make a little quick note for me, please, my dear? Cheap, quick settings for at the bench, please. And put 2 jump rings and a cross. And hopefully I shall remember that then.
2 jump rings and a cross.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. Should we have a last question? I do apologise. Are you going to the bead show in the Chepstow racecourses? We are.
What? Yes, we.
Is that the week after? Or is that in November?
We're going to the sand.
We're going to the races.
The Sandown one, aren't we, on the 16th? It's not going to be the same, is it?
It is the same company, I think, yeah.
It's the same. It's going to be the same show then?
Yes.
So, but we're going to Sandown.
We're spending...
Why are we going to Sandown more in Chepstows?
Oh, I forgot it was Chepstow. I forgot the Chepstow one. I always saw notified it was the bead show in... Is it the same? You're going to have different people. I'm sure you're going to have different people.
The bead show is not the same. It's not the same website as the Rock and Gem show.
Isn't it?
Bead and Jewellery magazine is the
okay, so it's a different one.
The big bead show.
Right, okay. So we are going to Sandown on the 16th of October to the bead show. We'll be there most of the day, I would have thought. And if you are around that area and you're going to the bead show as well, you're more than welcome to meet up for a coffee. Gladly have a chat with you, no worries at all. And also we're going to Chepstow to the Rock and Bead show. Rock and Gem show?
The Rock and Gem show.
The Rock and Gem show. We'll be going to Chepstow racecourses and then, not quite sure when that is, but yes, we will be there.
That's the 23rd and the 24th of October.
Right, so we'll have to make a date for when we're going to be there. And if you're around about Chepstow, you're more than welcome to meet up and we'll happily have a chat.
Claire is asking, can you recommend a casting company, preferably in or near Bristol?
I don't know of any near Bristol. I only know the ones up in Birmingham, to be honest. Dual Cast in Caroline Street.
They're excellent.
Yeah, we're having some castings done with them at the moment. Dual Cast Caroline Street. There are quite a few, but I don't think of any sort of ones around Bristol.
I don't know of any. I wouldn't be able to comment on.
No, I recommend.
Because we've just used dual cast for the bulk castings that we've had to.
We used to use Niagara Falls. They were in Warwick. They're a little bit further down-ish, but apart from that, no, don't know anybody, unfortunately. Gosh, you have one last question then.
We've nearly finished.
We have. So, Jill, you're welcome. I know how to try John Blackart's casting. I know John Blackart's casting, he's got an awful lot of work on at the moment, and I know he's taken a while to do some castings now. But yeah, you can contact him. Just go onto Facebook and search for Blackart's castings and his details come up. Trevor, lovely to see you at Chepstow.
Cool. Little 64, when making a half eternity ring, should I file the ring shape first and then do the gluing for the stones, or file after?
Making a half eternity ring, should I file the ring shape first and then do the gluing for the stones, or file after? Not quite sure what you mean about doing the filing.
I meant cuttings, sorry.
Cutting, and then do the cutting. Yeah. How about the filing? I don't understand about the filing, but what you should do, you should basically have a finished band, completely finished. Okay, so that's like a wedding band. So that would be virtually finished. Okay, so that would have like a pre-polish on it. Then you would start then to do all your cutting out. You would be doing your drilling down. You'd be doing the taking away the metal with your cylinder burrs and frazers and perhaps gravers. But I'm not quite sure what you mean, but get the ring virtually finished, because what you don't want to do is have all these lovely cuts and all the seats and all the claws and then having to then go and polish it. So I'm not quite sure what you mean about filing, but the ring has to be pretty much finished, and then you do all the setting prep work beforehand, afterwards, yeah, but before you set the stones, obviously. Go on, Louise, one last question.
Natalia saying you should set up a booth and do a meet and greet. Oh, he'd love that. Can you imagine him? Davin, Davin is saying, I'm 30 years old, I've been pouring silver and gold for a few years, and I'm really interested in becoming a bench jeweller. Am I too late, too old? No!
Never too old.
Is there many people looking to learn this trade?
You do have to just, it is literally practice day in, day out, doing it, casting it, understanding how the metal works, how it finishes, and just try and do all aspects, because if you do go into the trade, you simply can't do one thing. You have to be good at fabricating, bending and melting and soldering and doing claw work and repairs and so forth. So the more you can do and the more techniques and knowledge you can read and watch on YouTube and at the bench, the better you're going to become. But 30 years old is nothing.
That's nothing.
At all.
I spent half my life in a different profession, didn't I?
Yes.
I worked in dentistry for
22
years.
You don't look old enough.
And yeah, and now I'm not going to be a bench jeweller because I don't know, I feel like I've got my hands in all the pies, haven't I? I was supposed to just come here to do the website, and now suddenly I'm doing all of this, but it's great. But that's what it does suck you in, doesn't it, and draw you in. And I didn't think that I'd be learning new things and doing new things, but and I'm a lot older than 30. But
not a lot older.
Oh my God, no, you're definitely not too old. You just need to have the fire in you to go and do it, really.
Yeah,
and you need to take your opportunities to learn and spend some time in a workshop. If you've got a workshop near you, see if you can go in and just spend some time there, see if you can help out there, do some volunteering, I don't know, and then just see how that goes and where that leads. Join At the Bench, join the community, join the forum, speak to like-minded people. Absolutely. Because everybody's journey into jewellery making is different, isn't it? Every person you speak to will have gone in via a different route, through a different door. So you've just got to throw all your efforts at it, and one door will open then. That's all you can say, really, isn't it? Just,
absolutely.
Yeah, throw everything at it and definitely go for it. 100%.
Totally, yeah, do it, yeah. And he also wants to know where to pick up some good used metalsmithing equipment and practice stones and bands. Again, you need to keep an eye out on places like eBay. That's the best place. But again, if you go around different jewellers and say you're after equipment doesn't come up that often. Like, we hoard equipment. We don't hardly sell anything. And
I'm slowly rooting through your stuff.
You're not going to sell half of my equipment, I tell you now.
Turn your box, mate.
That's for certain. So again, eBay's the best. Go onto the Facebook groups. If you're in the UK, join the Facebook groups, Jewellery Metalsmiths UK. There's a D-Stash Facebook group for jewellery equipment as well. Keep an eye on that, because as soon as equipment does come up, it is literally gone. I must admit, we bought a whole workshop beginning of the year, and we put some items onto the Facebook forums, and they literally went in seconds. Everyone is wanting it.
Well, Mark is a perfect example right there, isn't it? He pretty much retired.
Yeah, absolutely.
When he started making jewellery. He was a good friend of yours who sadly passed away last year. But he was just, everything he applied himself to, though, was he threw himself into it 100%.
Yes.
But he started up his own business, and that's what he just loved it, and he did that till
he joined At the Bench,
Yeah.
and understood then what equipment he needed. He had chats with me. He was local, so he came to see us. We advised him on equipment, and he just bought the right tools, and he was then a lot of practice, and he ended up doing repairs for his local jewellery shop. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. He was in his 70s.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was amazing. So yeah, definitely just go for it.
Yeah, totally.
Facebook pages as well. Jacqueline's saying, yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So we've also got Gordo's interested in the pendant that you're wearing. Louise, would you like to tell us about the pendant you're wearing?
Oh, well, I won it.
You won it. Is this going to zoom in any more? Whoa, there we go. Let's just try and get this camera on you, and we'll just see. Where is it to? Where is it, Lou? It's not on you. Is it? Yes, it is. There it is.
Yeah, it's a bit closer.
There we go.
I'll just...
No, wait.
Okay. Yep. Okay, so my pendant... Hang on, I don't know what this is.
There we go. You guys.
I can't...
No, you're actually spot on.
Yep.
He's a little frog.
It's a froggy. Hang on, let me just I don't know what that's saying, so I'm just going to ban. Okay. Yeah, it's the froggy. And I won him at an auction. I was actually went on this auction. It's all Kerry Gregory's fault because she introduced me to the Sale Room, which is the auction website. And I was on this auction to buy a Victorian mourning pendant with hair.
Yes,
and
it was gorgeous. That was, wasn't
it? Yeah, and I wasn't going to sell it really, but I'm looking at buying and selling pre-owned and antique jewellery.
Yeah.
So it was to go as like more of a curiosity in the cupboard with that to get people in to look at. So yeah. But I ended up just bidding on this instead. So he's a little froggy and yeah.
18 karat white gold, sapphirites and diamond eyes.
He's got little froggy diamond eyes. So, but yeah, it was the you can really pick up things at a good price.
Yes, he's lovely. He is nice.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So that's Louise's pendant. It's supposed to be in the shop, but she hasn't taken it off.
It's Carrie's fault.
She hasn't taken it off. She's just kept it on. Is that about it? Should we call that a day?
I think so,
Because 20 to 6.
Penny's saying, I'm 64, I've been in learning for 20 years and in the business for 2.5 years. Amazing. See,
Penny? Excellent.
Yeah, you've just
well
got
done.
everyone's story's different, everybody's pathway is different. Just go for it. You're never too old.
Go for it.
Marcia is saying, to Louise's point, learn from mistakes and not get upset about them. Definitely.
Yes.
Because they're all learning opportunities, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so there we go. Don't forget, any advice given in the chat, you accept at your own risk. Please remember that. I see there are a few people saying you ran 2 LED shop lights and so forth. Yeah, any advice you are given within the chat, you do so at your own risk. So there we go. Don't forget the competition. Louise, yes? No?
Yeah, hang on. Oh, no, what did I do? No, hang on. I'm getting tired now. Right, there we are. Tanya, 50 and I've gone back to college in the UK, never too old. Absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah, well, I'm learning about gemstones, aren't I?
Yeah.
That's just
all about gemstones.
hard. It's really hard, but I love it.
It is hard, but it's good. It's good to come into a trade. There's so much to learn.
Yeah.
Just get on there and learn it. Every waking moment, buy books. Don't forget, At the Bench shop is going to be opening up over the next couple of days. There's going to be loads of books on there, all brand new ones that we can post out to you wherever you are in the whole wide world, worldwide shipping. Susan, the jeweller's wife, has no jewels. You do. You're saying how very fortunate you are. You're welcome. Okay,
I just don't get my repairs done.
No, you don't know.
What does Sharon call me?
Cobblers children.
Cobblers kids.
Cobblers kids.
They just sit on your bench forever.
All right, that's it for this week, I think. So sorry if we haven't answered your question. I'm not quite sure what happened to the questions. They were jumping all over the place, and hope we managed to catch up with the ones.
Well, we stayed on a bit later to hopefully redeem ourselves and catch up. Yeah.
Totally. I'm waiting for Louise to raffle more. Yeah, I don't think
I'll have a route around, Michael, see what else I can find for you all. See what other doublers he's got. I can see a few mills over there kicking around.
Yeah, one cannot have too many rolling mills.
Or shoes.
Or books. Or should I say that?
Or bikes.
Or bikes,
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right then, everyone, thank you so much for coming on today.
Or jewellery, yeah, thank you, Susan.
You can never have too much jewellery, you're right there, Susan. Thank you. Don't forget, give this film a nice little thumbs up if you like it. Do appreciate everyone coming on. Paul, I don't have Oppie's book because you can get that all over the place now. You can get really...
Is that your Bible?
Yeah, Oppie and Tracks.
I think you'll divorce me if I raffle that off,
Jewellery,
Paul.
Concepts and Technology. That is a good book. I know you can pick it up fairly cheap at different places, a lot of places. Just keep an eye on places like eBay and Amazon and that sort of thing. You are all very welcome. Lovely to see you all this week. Don't forget, we are having that competition to raffle off to pick a winner. Sally Spencer's signed copy of, I'm going to try and remember this, the Jeweler's Quick Reference Book of Gemstones.
Reference Guide to Working with Gemstones.
Got it wrong again. It's close enough. But yeah, click the link, enter your details, your name, your email address, whether you want to be signed up to the newsletter or not. If you don't, it doesn't make any difference at all. Then this time next week, we should be drawing a winner who will win Sally Spencer's book. Delete him.
I thought I had. I did.
Yeah.
Why is it not?
Remove.
I've hidden, but it's not.
Remove him.
I've done it.
You have removed? Yeah, it's all removed. Excellent.
I don't know how it came back up.
Thank you. We're not quite sure whether they're going to be at Chepstow on the Saturday or the Sunday yet. We need to look into that and find out which day is going to be best for us. But whichever day, everyone is welcome to come along and have a chat. We're going to have a coffee, have a look around. You are more than welcome. That's about it. I hope you've all enjoyed this last hour and 40 minutes. Apologise, we're a couple of minutes late, but hope everybody is all okay. Yeah, Jill, you can get Oppie and Tracks books all over the place, some really, really cheap prices, absolutely. So it'd be not worth us stocking it for that.
Yeah, that whatever it was has been blocked.
Yeah, block them. Thank you, Joe, for that.
You can't. Well, you can
remove.
You can remove. You can put them in the timer, or you can hide.
So let's remove.
But you can't ban. Can you remove?
Right, I think it's removed from the main chat now. Yeah, looks like it's been removed. Okay, everyone, thank you so much indeed. We've got a few ideas for some films for At The Bench. Don't forget, later on this week, the new At The Bench shop is going live. Worldwide posters for everything that we sell here. Your bristle brushes, your titanium strips, your t-shirts, your bezel making kits, and all the books. And we will be adding to the shop over the next few weeks as time goes by. Lots and lots of new tools that we're going to be getting, that we're going to be putting on there, and starter kits that we can be posting anywhere around the whole wide world. Some lovely, lovely books. All the books we're going to be stocking, I've actually personally bought these books over the past few years as well, so I can be sure that those books are going to be absolutely brilliant and totally amazing for you guys, totally educational. Thank you very much for your thumbs up. Do appreciate it. Thank you for everybody who's come on today. And Louise, do you want to say anything else?
Oh, I don't think so.
Nothing at all?
Any news or anything else? I think that's it. I've still got my mask. I don't know why I'm keeping that. No, I think we're done.
Excellent. All right then, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We will see you next Monday, the 11th of October. It's my dad's birthday, Thursday. My dad is 99.
He is, isn't he?
Yes, my dad's birthday on Thursday. So happy birthday, my father.
Natalia, yes, please. I'd love to see a picture of the ghost pendant and your bracelet too. Yeah. Yeah,
please send us some information through. And if you want to be, featured on next week's Q&A, send us some photographs of projects, items that you're most pleased with. Give us your social media links, and we'll happily give you a 5-minute blast on here. Can we get like 1,400 likes? Not 400 views every single week, so it'll be great exposure for you. 99. Yeah, we got an idea what we're going to ask. We need to ask him this question, but we're not going to say anything. I'm going to shut up now before I say anything. All right, everyone, take care. Louise, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Everyone, take care. See you next Monday, 11th of October for our next Q&A. Keep an eye out on social media. Thank you, everybody, for the 100,000 subscribers on here as well. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Subscribe and smash the little bell icon to be notified when films go live on our YouTube channel.
Then.
Oh, good. No, I'm going to do the voice. Everyone.
Do the voice.
No, don't do the voice. Everyone, take care. See you next week. Bye-bye.